Putin is either trying to drum up support for the war, which could be waning as it's becoming increasingly long, much longer than they
yes,
initially
certainly
expected.
much shorter than the few days that they told out the world it would take them to take Kiev.
Absolutely. So it's natural that people are starting to raise doubts in Moscow and in other Russian cities about the wisdom of Putin in launching this war. One way of drumming up support is naturally by claiming that you are yourself under attack. So we'll see what the final verdict will be on this wave of drone strikes. But what is undeniable is that this war has proved just how far drone technology has come. Also how economically viable these attacks are compared to some of these missiles that cost in the tens of millions of dollars to launch. Here we have weapons that are quite cheap, quite effective, and can carry large payloads to targets that are several hundred kilometers away. So ever since the war started, initially in the first phase, we had the Ukrainian Turkish-made Bayraktar drones that were very efficient in the first few days and decimating these military columns of Russian vehicles that were stuck in traffic jams of never before seen sizes on their way to Kiev, and they were being picked off. Later these drones have been countered by a saturation of the front lines with anti-air defense weapons that have been quite efficient. So instead, other types of drones have been used that are cheaper and that are a little bit more simply you can get rid of them to a lower cost. If one of them is down, it's not the end of the world. Then of course we had Russia purchasing or receiving large amounts of Iranian Shahed 136 drones in Ukraine. They are known as mopeds by the sound that they make. They are slow and very loud, so you can spot them usually from quite far away. Nevertheless, when 20, 30 or 40 of them strike a city at the same time, together coupled with missiles as well, it does make things quite complicated for air defenses. So when we look at these drones and the use of drones, and then naturally, of course, probably what we have seen the most of is very small drones, either so-called FPV drones, first-person view drones, that you basically put a camera on it and an explosive, and you fly the drone into a target. These drones are quite quick. They are quite maneuverable. It's basically the same drones that we have seen that there are these championships in drone flying that are quite acrobatic, so to say, and it's very impressive to see these obstacle courses that they can traverse in the sky. They are very maneuverable. So when you put an explosive on top of one of them, you can do a lot of damage and you can hit your target. Then we have also these drones that are simply used to fly above a trench of the enemy and simply drop a grenade. And those drones have also proved to be very efficient. So all of these various uses of drones taken together, it serves well to remind people about, in military theory, there is a concept called RMA, or Revolution in Military Affairs. Armed conflicts are always this tit for tat, where one side comes up with a new strategy, and after a while it is quickly either copied by the other side or also countered with some form of defensive action. And then the other side invents a new type of weapon system. And this is how war has developed from, well, the Stone Age, more or less, from slinging rocks to launching nuclear missiles at each other. So this dialectical, you could say, ladder is something that we have seen for a long time. But at some stages, there is a new revolutionary concept that completely upends the way that warfare has been taking place in the previous years. There are many examples, sometimes quite far back in history. One example from very old times is when the chariot was invented, and these nomad populations, the Indo-Europeans really bursted out from the Asian steppes, and they were using these war chariots that were later copied by the Egyptians, by the Mesopotamians, by various peoples.
Adam, alas, the clock in the corner of the studio is calling time on our discussion, so we'll pick it up next time. There we are. I've had to interrupt Adam almost in mid-sentence, but fear not, if you join us next time on Poland Daily History, as we hope you will, we'll pick up the story. In the meantime, thank you for watching.